Okay, this is exactly why I'm not going back to porn. But first, let me tell you my story. Because this all starts in a single incident when I was a little kid, when I was watching a telenovela with my grandma. And it was just this basic scene where a girl was showering. But that scene was enough for me to kind of felt that desire or something. It was something that I couldn't explain when I was a kid. But I didn't act upon curiosity till much later. And so that much later curiosity sparked again around 2 to 3 years ahead. And it was in the form of YouTube. And so at YouTube, I found the thing that I was looking for, movie sex scenes. And with this, I also had an interesting story with this where I was manipulating my birth date in my Google account so that I would enter or watch these videos that were above 18 that had age restrictions. And so I would go there and just watch it. But at this point, you know what's interesting? Because I still haven't realized fapping. I didn't realize that you can actually masturbate, but it still wasn't something that occurred in my mind yet. I only realized my potential when COVID started. And it was at this point where I would characterize my life was something really isolated. I mean, we all experienced these bouts of loneliness. I mean, for sure, we were isolated. We were always in our homes, the pandemic. And so, the pandemic, when COVID hit, I gained a lot of weight. And it didn't help that I was just sedentary, wasn't moving, I wasn't doing any kind of physical activity. And to top it all off, I realized what I can do. So I started fapping. But not just fapping though, because I also leveled up. I also leveled up what porn I was watching, and so I would go to my browser on my phone and would go incognito to search what I wouldn't want to search, but I still stumble across it. Porn, actual porn, and I'm not gonna name the sites that I was watching, but you know the common ones. I think you know. I mean, these common sites are probably not something new. And so I would watch it for like once a day. So I would be in this PMO cycle. If you don't know what PMO is, it's basically porn, masturbation, and orgasm. So I would pretty much fap to porn. And I felt extreme shame. And I always get this, like, what they say is post nut clarity, where you just regret doing it. You just regret doing that activity. But I mean, I couldn't really comprehend, like, why I was struggling like that. And just realized that today that I'm on this path, it was all dopamine. And it was all triggered by number one, loneliness, and number two, didn't have that kind of stable mental health because I was always like having these demons in my mind, and I was self sabotaging myself. That didn't help. And so when I was going through this porn addiction, I thought I wasn't going to quit this. I thought I wouldn't be able to get out of it. That was a problem. But I see it in a new light when I had this really weird mindset about porn. That what if I just imagine girls being young kids? Like literally, a girl being a young kid. And I thought to myself, wait, I wouldn't actually have sexual thoughts about that young kid, I would just look to them in the eyes and said, "Oh, they're cute." And so I actually started to look women at a different light. I saw women before as something that is not human, as something that is, being objectified, as something that is sexualized, that you're just gonna look at their bodies and not their eyes. That's not them treating, that's not you treating them like a human being. What's really important here is that at least I got that mindset that when I look at the women in the eyes, I see them for what they are. I see them as living, breathing human beings, and I'm not focusing my time and effort into them because I also discovered that when I focus on myself, I would have less desires on watching that thing. And looking back to it, I feel so grateful that I got that mindset because it kind of continued on from there. The momentum kind of started. And so when I quit porn, I also realized that, oh, I think I know why. It was also because of the environment. And I was on senior high school that time when I kind of got to progressive deloads watching porn, and the only addiction that I got back then was, well, video games. Um, so yeah, I'm right now about a year, a year. I don't think it was a year. It's probably right now. It'll be close to 2 years that I'm clean from this addiction, and it was great. I feel immensely appreciative of the fact that I went through that journey and to gain that mindset about women. And it really helped that after the pandemic, when the lockdown started to ease up and face to face classes were beginning, I was developing myself. I was interacting more with classmates. I actually gained friends. And that actually made me less addicted and less likely to grab onto that substance. And so that really taught me a really valuable lesson. That what I discovered from porn was that I only clinged upon it tightly when I have poor mental health. That's it. And to be honest with you, I feel really appreciative of this journey because I was also reflecting a lot about myself and the path that I'm taking right now, which is personal development, and the fact that I also got recommended. My YouTube algorithm has been filled with personal development related content. And so, moving forward, I don't regret quitting porn. I'm never going back to it. And it is only up till now that I've discovered like the dangers of watching it, particularly because of this molecule in our brain called dopamine. And the kind of bro science behind this is that dopamine is the motivation chemical that is being released in the brain when you're motivated to do something. And the problem with these addictive substances, you can name it all, social media, porn, junk food, is that you get this very pleasurable experience, this very peak in pleasure, but then it crashes back down below baseline. So that means is that when you go through it again, you want more of the substance. You kind of want to get a little bit higher on the kind of dosage of that substance in order to get the same high repeatedly. And that kind of concept is called tolerance. And dopamine as a chemical is a double edged sword. You can use it to build success or to build failure, right? And so, what I've discovered here is that porn is just frying my dopamine receptors. Therefore, that's probably why I wasn't feeling motivated with my studies back then. And it kind of also didn't help that I wasn't really exercising that much back then. But as soon as I discovered it right now, it's very clear to me that it is detrimental to my mental health, as well as me sabotaging my friendships and viewing women in a different way, because I want to preserve that mindset that I have with women being little girls, little kids that are cute and adorable. And it's a weird mindset, but it worked for me. And till now, I've never gone back to it. And the thing is that, oh yeah, my camera. All right. Yeah, my. So what I meant was my discovery on the people in the industry nowadays. It's really sad, and I really pity these women that are involved in this adult industry because they've been ostracized and outcasted by people. I mean, when you're going into this business, you gotta have to expect that you're going to be receiving hate comments and you're gonna be cancelled, right? And it's so tragic though, because if you leave this industry, of course your mental health would be terrible. And the fact that you're actually gonna have a difficulty applying to a new job. So thinking about that is like, man, I don't want to support this adult industry literally destroying women's mental health. Not just women though, even men. But I want to highlight women here because they have been like the biggest victims of this entire thing. And they've been running this industry and they've just been expanding. And the thing is that they have a lot of issues to deal with, right? So just from that fact, it's like, do you really want to support this industry where women are forced to do this kind of activities so that they can make ends meet, so that they'll have poor mental health? And the problem with this is that the worst case scenario is that these people commit suicide, right? Not, I can't really describe it. I'm speechless. And when I'm hearing this fact, I really feel sad about them. And so that mindset change that I have just recently kind of solidified my belief that porn is definitely detrimental. Porn is bad. That's it. Porn equals bad. And if you really crave that sexual, a girlfriend or a boyfriend, work for it. It's called delayed gratification. You gotta go out there in the real world, connect with real humans, make friends, and just learn the process. That's how it is. You take action. You don't just watch and then just feel sexually stimulated and then you just fap and then it's boom, it's done. It's not like that. You have to work for it because the real life equivalent is much better and much more fulfilling than the technology equivalent of just watching it. So the lesson that I got from this journey is that, well, I should focus on myself. That's it. And if I really focus on myself and I define what it is that I am meant to do, what I really want to accomplish in life, my mission, my purpose, which I have still not really discovered yet fully, I'll have better mental health. And the thing is, I'll be less likely to do the bad habits this way. So I got, this kind of lessons just recently, and it really helped me to really believe in the power of faith and also patience. You gotta be patient when you're working hard and you're delaying gratification. And so my journey a couple of years ago on this addictive substance really made me reflect a lot about my state of living and my circumstances right now. And I mean, reflecting to that, I'm very privileged that I have a loving family. But it's kind of ironic, right? That I still fall victim to watching this stuff because I was lonely. Because, fun fact about me, I'm an only child. And so that meant that I wasn't really making that much friends. I didn't actually even connect with my cousins. And so that made me felt this like bad mental health symptoms. And so that kind of triggered this cycle, you know. So reflecting on that, I still feel grateful that I experienced that because I mean it's so sad that people are now discovering this stuff at the early age. And at an early age even I think I don't know, before teenage years you're discovering this stuff. That's sad. And it doesn't help that social media also offers, soft core porn with the form of thirst traps, right? It doesn't help. It triggers us to relapse and to get back into this addiction. And so, what can you do about it? Well, the most important thing that you need to find is a purpose. Is a purpose for your life. What do you want out of life right now? Do you, and I mean, do you, I want to ask you a question. Do you really enjoy watching it? No, right? I mean, it is pleasurable, but it's like you feel shameful, right? After you're doing it, you're just filled with negative emotions. It's not really that beneficial for you. But what about this other stuff? Exercise, you know, do you enjoy exercise? Probably not. But when you find the perfect exercise, the exercise that feels fun for you, then you might change your answer to yes. So the main point of what I'm saying here is that porn is bad, but it's also not fun. That's it. And I am solidified by this idea that you should never go back to it. Period. So that is it for me. Life is simple. Don't overthink it.